This is kind of part of being a man. It's like, you kind of got to fuck it all up a little bit.
I think so.
I think part of learning is dying. I think part of learning is you got to die a little bit. Because what is learning? Learning is me giving up on my old shit, my old ideas. Those ideas have to die for me to be open to some new shit. And so me learning how to be a better man, I had to die a little bit. When do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability.
Hey guys, today we have a video on the Heal Herald. Now, Heal Herald is a build that has existed for quite a while now, ever since the Draconic Echo change where they added quickness to it and then they moved it to elevated compassion. But essentially this healer is a pretty low intensity one compared to some of the other healers like Druid, like Firebrand. I personally don't play this build a lot, but it is very useful in certain contexts. So 100 CM is one of those content types that this build really shines in, and it's mostly because of the amount of healing that it gives, the amount of boons that it gives with a large radius. So essentially the build, you get your healing from your salvation trait line. This boosts your healing power. You get a bunch of raw healing from your centaur stance, and the primary skills that you're gonna want to be focusing on are your facet of chaos, your facet of chaos, your facet of light, and true nature. Those are going to be the main healing skills that you have. Your staff skills have a lot of healing, and your Ventari skills also have a lot of healing as well. So when you switch over to Ventari, your tablet will heal around it when you have True Nature active. And then you also have your Elite skill, which does a lot of CC, and Natural Harmony is your primary burst heal that you can then send this tablet over to people and heal them. And that is essentially all you really need to know about where your healing comes from. And for this build, you will be rocking full Harrier's gear with Monk Runes and then the Monk Relic. So when I talk about the radius of the boons that it provides, this white ring is the radius that the majority of the boons that you produce will reach to. And then this red ring is a 360 radius ring. That is the ring that most other boon support classes have. It's either going to be this or shorter, actually. So when you are talking about fights that require a lot of spreading out, that's where the Heal Herald really shines, because even if you spread out, you could still reach your allies with that regeneration, and then you can also just send your tablet over to wherever you want to actually provide that healing for your allies. So for this showcase, I decided to do 100 CM. 100 CM is one of the encounters that Heal Herald is actually preferred in. It is highly sought after in this encounter in pug groups. This is a pug group. I just joined the LFG, joined a NA CM Fractal group that was looking for a healer. And so I joined as a Heal Herald to kind of showcase this build for you guys. And the mechanics of this fight, the first one you see is this numbers mechanic. Following this, he's going to do what is the eyes attack, and essentially all you need to do is spread out for the numbers and then look away from the eyes. But with that, the Heal Herald shines in this encounter because it brings a lot of CC to the table, and it brings a lot of large radius passive healing from just the boon application. So with you upkeeping your legends like the Ventari bubble or your glint facets, you are then going to be basically dumping out a lot of regeneration and a lot of other boons. So that is going to kind of passively heal your group. And then in addition to that, you have your Ventari tablet skills that are more of a focused healing. As you can see, I'm kind of like dumping it onto my allies, trying to top them up with the passive regen from True Nature, and then just managing the mechanics. So with the Heal Herald, you can definitely be two places at once. And by using the Ventari Elite skill, your Staff 5 skill, your Glint Elite skill, you can provide a lot of CC. Now, it does require quite a bit of resource management. There are a few times in this fight where I get pretty low and I actually let the True Nature go on cooldown instead of using it. There's always room for improvement as you play these builds. So don't stress too much about it, but it is something that has a lot of baked in healing, and it is a good way of being able to upkeep some of the key boons that your party needs to be successful. So with that, that is the Heal Herald, and with its upcoming changes in November 29th, I believe it is, you will be having access to Aegis on your shield, and your shield 5 will then also be a AoE pulsing heal. So with the amount of healing that the individual gets from the build through some of the other trait lines that you run for it, and the amount of healing that you get baked into all of your weapon skills, especially, I believe that the scepter is going to be, I would like to believe that the scepter is going to be like the Spectre scepter, where you can target your allies and give them some barrier or something. It would be kind of boring if they just ported that weapon over for the ritualist, but I think that, or the ritualist, the revenant, sorry, I'm in Guild Wars 1 mode, but if they just ported that weapon over, it would be kind of boring. But I would like to see it be a support weapon, because right now we run mace, and mace is good for blasting might, and you can also blast other fields if you do have some light fields or something like that are out. You can blast it for cleansing, you can blast it for healing if there's a water field or something like that. So it does have a very short cooldown, multiple blast finisher baked into mace. I think that the scepter is likely going to replace it when it does come out in a few months. But with the updates coming to Shield that are going to be live here at the end of this month, you will definitely be able to tell that there is a true kind of fleshed out support build. This build always kind of had some holes, but I think that if you gear it up now and start playing it and get used to that resource management aspect of it, then once those changes become live and you now have access to Aegis, you now have a true support main hand weapon, then you will be like good as gold. I think it is going to definitely be in the running for top tier healer. It is already very strong, as you can see, and it is useful in niche encounters. It's not quite the jack of all trades that that the Firebrand is, but I definitely think it's valuable. And so with that, that's kind of the build. I'm going to let the showcase play out, and if you have watched up to this point, I want to thank you all for watching. Please consider subscribing. Leave a comment if I missed anything. I know that my build guides are kind of just down and dirty. They're not super thorough. I trust that if you have this game and you look into the different trait lines, you can kind of figure out what they do. You don't need me to tell you what every skill does and how it interacts with each other. So with that, thank you so much, and I will see you next time.